We have so much to talk about. I thought, why don't we handle this chronologically? So, because there's a story that I'd love to hear you tell about your early days when you're trapped in Las Vegas. You're playing cocktail bars and lounges. How did you keep from having that suck your soul out?
Well,
how did you save yourself?
That's an easy question to answer because I grew up in Delaware, you know, and there wasn't really a lot happening in Delaware, you know, culturally with the music thing. Philadelphia was nearby and so on, but the idea of going to Las Vegas, I was about 17 years old when I went out there, and the idea of going out there and actually performing professionally was just really cool in and of itself. I'd never even seen the desert.
Were you en route to LA maybe, or was that where you were?
That was that was the idea, you know, and I had a place that I could stay there. I knew somebody there, and I actually found work. I was a keyboard player at the time. I got in a lounge band, and yeah, I mean, it was the type of band that at this point in my life would clearly be a very soul-sucking experience. But at 18, just like playing in a casino with cute cocktail waitresses and going outside and looking at the desert and making money and having my own money, and it was just pretty great. You know, there was nothing soul-sucking about it. It was actually inspiring, and I got a lot of experience out of it. Only 1 year I did it, you know, but it was a formative one.
So you had that. You're in the dentist's office now. You're reading a magazine.
Yeah. Oh wow, you found some old.
This is what gets you back to New York, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What the article.
No, it's totally
about.
True. I had my toothache. I went to the dentist. I was reading some article in like Women's Day, you know, something or another. This is, you know, I don't know, 1986, you know, and they had an article actually. Ironically, that included Suzanne Vega, who I'm playing with tonight. She was on the rise in New York, and this woman, Christine Lavin, was back there, and a guy named Frank Christian. And I had seen Frank Christian at the Philadelphia Folk Festival the year before. And they were just, the article was just one of those articles that I've seen written about the scene that I'm in New York. Now, it's kind of funny now that I look back on it, but it just looked like the scene was so happening and that everybody was really supportive of one another. Really good songwriting scene. I'd been writing songs since I was about 14. That was something that happened early on. I mean, really officially since I was probably 5 or 6. You know, just I always made up my own songs. You know, and so the idea of going and being in an atmosphere like that seemed right. In Las Vegas, it wasn't going to happen. There's no place to really showcase your original stuff.
The chapter's done.
Get a scene going. Yeah. So I split. That was it. You know.
So you get there, and obviously it's the right place because you really blossom and the songwriting really takes off, and you've had you know, so many great musical experiences. One of which is you were a member of, and I don't know, maybe you still are, Nora Jones's Little Willies. Is that a chapter that's done now, or is there going to be another Little Willies project? Or?
You know, nobody's really talking about it. You know, we did that. That's a funny record for me because I joined the Little Willies because it was an outlet. You know. All the 3 front people in the Little Willies, which I would consider me, Nora, and Jim Campolongo, the guitarist, we all have our own bands, you know, that we run and operate. You know, Nora's obviously, you know, everybody knows about that. And then Jim Campolongo has a trio and does really well, puts out records. I put out records. And we all love that music, you know, and it was really cool, especially in the beginning when we were doing it, because in New York, there wasn't a lot of people that knew that music, I discovered. When we started playing it, we would play maybe just the most pedestrian thing that down south, you know, my mother's from down south, and I grew up around this music, like through my family and my grandparents playing it and singing it. And it was funny to be in New York playing something that to me was just, I just thought was just in the water, you know. And people would be like, what was that song? We just played For the Good Times. And everybody, wow,
that was brilliant.
What is that? Who wrote that? Oh, hey. I mean, you know, yeah, this has always been there, you know. We're just having fun, you know. We would, you know, play these songs and stay out really late. We book, the band only really started playing a lot right around the time Nora was getting really famous. So we would have to like not tell people that we were playing because the heat was really on her fame, and if you told people, the place would just, you know, be a line all around blocks, you know, blocks. So we would just tell a few friends, and then we would show up. And of course, the place would be mobbed, and get up and it'd be midnight or whatever, and play till about 3 o'clock in the morning. Get really, really drunk on tequila, and just keep playing wacky versions of Hank Williams songs, our own versions, which are they're not authentic. I was very almost reticent to do a record because we're so unauthentic, and there's people who really purvey that music. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's the old school, the old guard of people that are the real deal, and then there's even newer people, Gillian Welch, all these people that really study that music and know how to play it. And we're just like a bunch of cats in New York, hanging out and just being like, oh, I love that song.
Let's see, you have the key? Yeah, let's go with it. Here we go.
Exactly. So it's the people that love that band, I think, get that about it and take it in that spirit. And then some other people said, hey, well, that's not really, that's not really how you play that music. All right, whatever,
Well, you have to be loving what's going on now because, you hear so much good stuff about your solo stuff. People like Randy Newman and Bonnie Raitt saying wonderful things about you. The reviews are great. Slow New York is just a well-thought-of album. And so the new album is coming out in February?
February 26th.
It's called Sunday Morning and Saturday Shoes, which is a killer title and must mean something. I'd like the story behind that if there is one.
There's a song called Sunday Morning and Saturday Shoes on the record. And I guess the song is, from the point of view of somebody walking past a storefront window and seeing the image of themselves after being out all night and not, having been home and still out in the clothes that they were in the night before.
Yeah.
Nothing had ever happened to me personally, of course, but
we're not talking taking the walk of shame in the morning, are we?
That's pretty. The song is kind of like that, although it has a little more of a kind of melancholy element, to it, and it's actually funny. The record got called that, and people have been having a pretty positive response to it so far, but. I was gonna call the record "Syndicated," which was the name of the song that it did.
It's a great song.
And I really like that title. I like the word "syndicated" because it just is kind of enigmatic. It sort of means something, but it doesn't. Nobody ever really quite knows what it means. It's just kind of a cool word.
And it's a very American word at this point in time, too. Syndicated.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're all about in this country.
Yeah, but somebody suggested to me a rare occasion, actually, where I think, a lot of times the label will make suggestions to the artist, and the artist is like, "Hey, it's all right." But we had some good ideas about how we wanted the record to look and everything, and they said, maybe you could consider that title because it fits better with this whole thing, and we really think it. And I thought they were right, So and it does create an evocative image for people to stick in their minds. So
he brought in Mitchell Froom, which is a big name. He's worked with Crowded House and Elvis Costello.
Everybody.
What did he bring to the party? Talk about working with him.
Mitchell is a really exceptional producer. And as you just mentioned, the list of artists that he's worked with is incredibly impressive. And he had done some records that I love. The records I love of his actually are not really the records he's known for. He's really known for Los Lobos and Crowded House, and working with Chad Blake. Who the engineer and creating these kind of kind of dark little masterpieces for people. They did some great records, but I always like Ron Sexsmith or like the Randy Newman records he did, some of the songwriter records, and he had worked with Bonnie, and Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie also suggested that I work with him, and what he brought to it before Mitchell, I worked with a producer named Brad Jones, who's one of my closest friends and. An amazing producer in Nashville who, when I go to work with Brad, anything can happen. We go in there, and if we just are like, oh wow, this wall sounds amazing. Let's do the drum track with that. We do that. And this record, Mitchell was much more kind of stern and very very deliberating. He would spend a lot of time with the demos I did and the music and make a lot of ground rules about what could be on certain songs and what couldn't be on, and what we needed to get out of certain songs to really bring out what they were trying to say. And he wouldn't really entertain too much, fooling around. He really liked to just keep things right on track and say, hey, this. He wanted me to make a very direct record. Didn't even want me to sing background harmonies. Nothing too sweet. Something kind of tough. And he kept saying, "Man, I think you're like Mose Allison. I want to make a Mose Allison record with you." So I don't know if that's what we did or not, but that's what he kept saying. So